Thank you so much for clicking on this video, and if you are new here, I would love it if you would stay and subscribe. Today I'm doing a video that I say this every time. I'm excited to film it. It is basically going to be, here's my dog. It is basically going to be a video on everything about the Salon Professional Academy, or cosmetology school if you will. I started on October 14th, so it's been almost about 4 months, so I think I've got a pretty good grip on everything and kind of what it's all about. If you guys like this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. I have noticed for some reason that my comments have been turned off on my videos. All my videos are kid friendly and don't use copyrighted music ever, so I need to figure out what that is all about. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get on started. My phone here basically with everything that I want to talk about. It seems like a lot on here, but I'll go pretty quick. So the first thing I want to talk about is the pricing and what your tuition includes. So where I go, the Salon Professional Academy, tuition is about $18,000 for 1 year, which is pretty standard to a regular university year. So I think it's average, I would say. It's $18,000 for 1 year, and it does include a ton of stuff. So not only does it obviously include your education, but it includes you know, brushes, curling irons, like all this stuff. I'll go into that a little bit deeper, but you get a ton of stuff for your tuition, which is awesome. And the education at my school is literally like top notch, I would say. So yeah, so let's kind of get into what the tuition includes. I did a full like what's in my cosmetology school kit video that I'll make sure to link below if you guys are interested in actually seeing the items that I'm talking about. But the first thing that I want to talk about is the main stuff that I use on my clients. It includes shears, clippers, trimmers, makeup, mani-pedi stuff, curling irons, brushes, straightener, lots of mannequins, etc. Like I said, I already did a video on this if you guys are interested in seeing like the actual things, but everything that they include in your tuition, you do get to carry on with you after graduation. I will get to still use my like curling irons, straighteners, whatever, if I choose to in the future with my clients. Marcel curling irons, which are super nice. Before I had a really hard time like actually maneuvering the curling iron because the base turns and the iron turns, so it's just a really weird like thing to grasp, but I got the hang of it and I really enjoy it because that's what gives me like the beachy waves for my clients. Straightener is really good. I don't ever really straighten my clients' hair, but I have it just in case. And so yeah, those are like the main things you get to work on with your clients. And then they also give us a brand new iPad that is mainly used for your classes, obviously, because what we do is we download all of our books onto the iPad, so that way you can kind of go along with the educator in class and you can kind of keep up with what they're talking about. You get to keep our iPads after we graduate, which I guarantee I will utilize just because one of my friends, Kelsey, who has her own, she rents out her own chair, she actually uses that iPad that she got, I believe this is correct, she got her iPad in class, and that is what she uses to like check out her clients at the end of their services. So I have a feeling I'll still use mine. We also use them for like lookbook assignments and just kind of inspo, like we have Pinterest on there, just a whole bunch of stuff for inspiration for our clients. Last thing I just have on here that I kind of briefly touched on is our books. So what we go through is something called My Lady, it's MILADY, and then we also go through something called Cengage. That is where all of our material is, that's where all of our homework is, tests, whatever. We do have written tests, but sometimes we take like pre-tests to prepare ourselves for the written tests. And so yeah, that's basically what tuition covers. We get a great deal of stuff. It's a really great program. I'll get more into that later, but the next thing I want to touch on is schedules. So what like my schedule looks like at the Salon Professional Academy. So the first 8 to 9 weeks is what they call foundations. So what foundations is exactly what it sounds like. It's the foundation of your classes. So you're gonna learn all about the basics of hair cutting, the basics of hair coloring, you know, how to talk to clients, how to, something as simple as like washing clients' hair, because believe it or not, a big part of your tip comes from the massage that you give your client. I personally try really hard. I give my clients massages because personally my favorite part of getting my hair done is getting my hair washed. I feel like majority of you watching this can agree it's like the greatest feeling ever. So yeah, we learned stuff like that. Like I said, it's really just all the basics about cosmetology school. We learned, sorry, I keep looking at my phone. We learned things such as electricity, chemistry, anatomy, and you're probably wondering like, why are you learning that when you're literally just doing someone's hair? But basically, we just wrapped up with anatomy. So anatomy is obviously very important. We're working with the human body. You're basically working from head to toe on someone because you can either be doing a pedicure or you can be doing someone's hair. So you need to know like what the red flags are of like disease. You need to know how to properly work with someone, being gentle but being efficient, stuff like that. So it's a lot of that stuff when it comes to anatomy. And then chemistry and electricity. Chemistry, we're obviously mixing chemicals together to create formulations for the color. You can completely mix things incorrectly and create a disaster on someone's hair. So that's where that part kind of comes in. And then electricity, this was kind of a smaller unit, but we basically learned about like what will happen if you like overuse too many outlets. You can blow fuses, stuff kind of like that. So that wasn't a huge part of it, but we definitely needed to know that stuff. Wrapping up with foundations. So eventually, a couple weeks out, I believe it's after week 4, we started working on hair cutting, hair coloring, men's cuts, women's cuts. So yeah, we received our mannequins, and that is when we just practice. You're gonna, if you're watching this video just because you're simply like interested in cosmetology school, it is so much repetitiveness, like over and over and over. And I personally enjoy that because I'm very much a hands-on person. I mean, clearly I talk with my hands so much. Like, I don't like learn well just sitting and like listening. I have to like touch things and feel things. You're gonna be doing a lot of that, and that is what's gonna give you those habits. It's gonna build habits, and that is what is going to help you become a great stylist. After we work on our mannequins and the educators, you know, obviously like make sure that we feel comfortable with what we're doing and how far along we've come and everything, that is when we bring in our models. So we have haircut models, hair color models. I think that's it for models, yeah. Just had women's cuts, men's cuts, and then a color, all over color, and a highlight for our models. So you basically have someone, we had to reach out to people, see if they could come in and trust us with their hair, even though we are pretty new. And I had my dad come in. I did a random person's highlight that was one of my friend's friends. And then I also did one of my classmates, and my friend Angie, her daughter actually was able to come in for me. So I feel like I've definitely grown in the sense that I'm not ashamed or like not afraid to reach out to people and kind of, you know, talk to them, tell them what I'm about, what I want to do to them, like do their hair if they are interested, kind of stuff like that. So it's definitely a building and a learning process. It's not gonna happen right away, and I still have literally tons of room to grow. I am no way saying I am ready to go out into the real world. Like, cosmetology school is definitely like a growing process. That's kind of the foundations aspect of it. After the 8 to 9 weeks of being in foundations class, that is when we go out onto the SSTA. And for those of you that aren't familiar with SSTA, that stands for Student Salon Training Area. So Student Salon Training Area is where you're going to be working on actual clients, so actual people, and you're not going to be in the classroom as much. I still do have class 2 days a week, just kind of throwing in like creative cutting, balayaging. We're working on facials actually in a few days. But yeah, so the SSTA, I kind of want to touch on this a little bit. So every single morning when we go into class, after we have something called energy, which is basically we just clap really loud to loud music, get everyone's energy up for the day. It's a really awesome thing to start the day off with. So after we do that, we look at the whiteboard. So there's a whiteboard on the side of the color lab, basically, with every single chair on it, and then your name is next to it. So you're going to go to the station with your name next to it, and then that is where you're going to be for the rest of the day. You don't get to necessarily pick your stations. You do earn that privilege eventually after you jump levels, and I'll get more into that later. If we don't have a person or a client to work on, then we work on what's called a project sheet. So the project sheets we're given are actually given to us during foundations, and it basically is this long list of things we need to complete by a certain date. So we have to work on stitching, weaving, highlighting, manicures, pedicures, finger waves, like literally it's a whole spiel of things, and we need to complete them by a certain date just so they make sure that we're staying consistent with what we're working on, and that we you know, obviously are feeling comfortable with it enough to work on actual people. We have about 3 project sheets the entire year that we're at cosmetology school. So since I'm pretty fresh out on the floor, or the SSTA, I'm only on my first one, but the girls that are about to graduate are wrapping up on their 3rd, if that makes sense. Also, as your project sheets go on, they get harder. Like, you have more things to do and harder things to do, I believe. from what I've heard. So now I want to kind of talk about jumping levels. I'm not too familiar with this, so I probably won't get too in-depth with it. But basically, at our school, I don't know entirely about other schools, but we have 4 levels. So we have level 1 through level 4. And level 4 is like the highest level, obviously, you can get. I don't think you even have to complete like a level 2. Like if you're comfortable with a level 1, you can stay at a level 1. My goal is definitely to reach a level 4 just because I want to be the best stylist I personally can be. I don't think that if you're level 4, you're definitely not better than a level 2. Like you can have all the experience in the world as a level 2. It's just about how, you know, how far you want to push yourself and the numbers you want to reach. I'm hoping to hit a level 4 eventually, but you have to hit certain numbers. So let's say, so I'm a level 1 right now and I want to be a level 2. So I have to, in order to jump or qualify, they say, you have to hit a certain number of haircuts, colors, treatments, waxes, like all this stuff. And then once you hit that, you have to hit it for another month. So you'll qualify and then you have to do that for another month and then you'll jump, if that makes sense. So you don't get it right away. You have to stay consistent for another month once you qualify. And then once you do qualify, you jump. So then I would be considered a level 2 and obviously on and on. So I'm hoping to hit a level 4 eventually. I'm in no rush. I'm trying to get as many clients as I can, so I guess we'll see when the time comes. Kind of wrapping up, so next thing I want to talk about is clients, clientele. Like I said, I've only been, I don't know if I have said this, I've only been on the floor for about a month, but I have been pretty proud of myself because I feel like I've been getting a good deal of clients in and out of my chair. It's a lot of reaching out to people at first, and that is something that I personally was not comfortable with the idea of. I think that it's a good way to build your confidence in building a clientele because I try my best to be consistent with my Instagram posts. I'll put my Instagram right here. It's just at Danaca Styles, and I try to be consistent. I pretty much post every single client that I have, just so people can see my work, they can trust me, they know that I am taking this very seriously, so I want them to be able to come to me. People have definitely reached out to me multiple times, which I'm so grateful for, because I understand that it's kind of scary reaching out to someone that hasn't been doing hair for very long when there's like so many amazing talented stylists in my area. I'm gonna make sure to post some pictures of my work somewhere on the screen in a few minutes or now, I don't really know when. But my services that I do are highlights all over, colors, waxes, haircuts, manis, pedis, just kind of stuff like that, etc. I don't know, there's a lot of things that we can do. We can do a lot of treatments, which I highly recommend. I got 3 treatments done a couple days ago because I had a voucher since I didn't miss class, and I got a bunch of treatments done and my hair feels like so soft. Okay, you guys, so I hope this video was insightful. I really tried my best to hit every single point that I thought was important. If you are from the area and you are interested in having me doing your hair, or you would like to see my work, like I said, I'll put my Instagram handle in the down bar and I'll put it on the screen so you guys can check out my work. I would love if you would reach out, or if you're interested, please make sure to message me because I would like to hit my numbers. I would like to get new people in my chair and I would like to build that clientele. If you guys like this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Like I said, my comments are disabled right now. I'm gonna try to get that figured out. But yeah, like I said, I hope this video was insightful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.